Jai Sri Ram, welcome everybody. Welcome to Bharat Marg. Welcome Vinay Ji. This is incredible, incredible. We are going to discuss about unbelievable stuff. Many police stations run by China found in Canada. Okay, to discuss about it, here is Vinay Ji. Friends, if you are watching this video, please make sure to like the video, comment on the video, post your questions, and share the video as much as you can. And also, friends, if you are watching this video for the first time in Bharat Marg, make sure to subscribe the channel and also press the notification bell to stay connected with us so that whenever we go live, you get informed so that you can come online and chat with us and ask any questions and become part of the conversation. Vinay ji, thank you for joining Bharat Marg. Appreciate it. Okay. And
Thank you, Jim.
say me something about what is this Canadian police station stuff? In Canada, you have been Chinese police station in Canada. Canadian police station in Canada is okay, which many times doesn't work. Let's talk about Chinese police station in Canada.
So, yeah, I was shocked to hear this as well. So, the Chinese police stations apparently there are, according to the sources, CBC
Uh-huh.
News, right? Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, which is a government-owned or government-funded uh, organization. So,
Either way you say it, yeah.
they have come up with the statistics that there are more than 50 overseas Chinese police stations that
Uh-huh.
exist in the world. Okay.
Wow.
And including
Wow.
three in the GTA. But I think that the statistics are a little off because I feel that there are a lot more police stations, Chinese police stations, overseas Chinese police stations in the world, and also there must be definitely more than three in Canada. And if they're only saying that the three exist only in the Greater Toronto area, what about
Mhm.
British Columbia? British Columbia has a huge Chinese population,
Mhm.
huge. So so the statistics are somewhere, something is off there, so I'm not going to trust that completely. But the bottom line is, yes, there are Chinese, overseas Chinese police stations, and they call them fuzu. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. I don't know how they say it in Chinese, but this is what they say in it's called fuzu. And these police stations are basically uh, there to, from the Chinese perspective. Okay, they are not actually police stations. So it's actually, these are an extension of the Chinese embassy, and they have, Chinese authorities have set these up to help online service platform, like it's an online service platform to assist Chinese nationals abroad.
Absolutely. Just to
Okay.
hold on a second, okay? Just to hold on a second. I just want to show the viewer something, okay? So it kind of makes some sense here. Okay, let's go and
There's no volume.
this will kind of give some idea.
I can't hear anything.
This is Buddhist temple also picture is coming there.
Yeah, but there's no volume there.
Absolutely. But this what you are saying. They say it is an extension of the police station, means embassy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically that's what they're saying, and they say it's an extension of the embassy. Like in we have something called as the High Commission of India, which is,
Hmm.
for example, Indian High Commission is in Ottawa, which is the headquarters. But then to support people in Toronto and other little cities, they have something called as consulates. So
Right.
consulates are where they assist these Indian people getting their visas or any support
More like
systems to
satellite
Indians living
offices.
abroad, right? Things like that. So they're saying that these are like consulates, but that's impossible. That's I mean, they're why are they calling them police stations? And if you see one of the pictures, it's, for example, in other countries, they actually openly say it's a police station. Like
Right.
there's no hiding there. It's a police station. It's in Dublin, Ireland. So, and this is the unfortunate part, actually. And apparently, they found three of these in the Greater Toronto area, mainly in Scarborough. Scarborough in Toronto is a part of Toronto, and they found three such police stations. And Scarborough and Markham, which is close to Scarborough, they're predominantly Chinese population. Actually, they have a huge Chinese population there, mostly immigrants, and also second generation, third generation Chinese there.
Hmm.
So they found one police station that is being operated inside a convenience store.
Wow.
They found another one that's being operated in a residential building, and then the other one is in a plaza. Okay, so
Hmm.
this is what is happening in Markham and Scarborough mainly.
But
So
but
what is the purpose of this? So let's get into the
Vinayji,
bottom line.
Vinayji, let me ask you something. Most of the Chinese came as slaves to Canada. Okay, they are there for a long time, from the Trans Canada railroads putting in. Maybe they want to serve their citizens, or their origin people, basically. Is anything wrong with that? If somebody is operating from grocery shop or whatever, what is the
But
problem?
why do it secretly? Why do it secretly? And why not admit what they're doing openly? And why call themselves a Fuzu, say, a police station? So the bottom line here is you got to see what is the purpose of this.
Hmm.
So when CBC and the police, RCMP is involved in this, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and so I'm just focusing on the Canadian one, and then we will move to other countries. So
Hmm.
RCMP investigated this, and RCMP has come up with this conclusion that these police stations are mainly to get these Chinese people, especially the affluent, because Chinese people are doing really well in Canada, many of them. Okay.
Hmm.
And they're in good positions, they're businessmen, they're professionals, they're in IT and whatever, right?
Hmm.
So
They're hardworking people.
hardworking people. And the purpose of these police stations is to bring these people into the police station and kind of brainwash them and get them to move back to China. And
Really?
yeah, and if they don't agree, okay, and if they don't agree, they will
Uh-huh.
be dragged, kidnapped into a different country altogether, and from there they'll be deported to China,
Wow. Really?
including uh, taking possession of their wealth, their bank accounts, their assets, and all of that. So this is the whole purpose of these police stations.
But
And
why Canada is saying it is interfering in Canadian affairs? They are just dealing with the Chinese
because
people,
these
right?
people are Canadian citizens,
Right.
so when you interfere in with a Canadian citizen, It is interfering in the affairs of Canada. They may
Right.
have Chinese origin, okay, but they have accepted the Canadian citizenship under oath, and now they have Canadian passports, and they're fully Canadian. They have no allegiance to China at all. The only reason they're Chinese are because of their names, their background, or something like that. And maybe their grandfather or father or they
DNA
themselves came in
connection.
as immigrants.
Right.
Other than that, they have no allegiance to China at all. So
Most of
this
them
is
came
why
as slaves.
Canada is saying this is against the international law. It is illegal. It's a severe violation of territorial sovereignty.
Hmm.
So this is what Canada is saying.
But do you think Canada can even handle with China? Because what do you
Well,
think?
you know what happened couple of, maybe not couple, maybe a few years ago with the Huawei CEO, right? The Canadian authorities arrested Huawei CEO, and they kept her here, and then guess what? There was a lot of pressure from China, and they started arresting travelers from here who are Chinese, Canadian citizens, and they put them behind bars for unknown reasons. They just created something. I'm a tourist in traveling in China, but I am a Canadian citizen. I get arrested, and
Hmm.
they said that till you release the CEO of Huawei, we will not release your citizens. So guess what happened? It was done secretly, without too much publicity. And you know how the Canadian media works. Canadian media is completely under the control of the government. And if they say
But
sit,
they
they
will
sit.
call all Chinese media and Russian media as government owned.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Like same thing in Canada, right? I mean, like, it's all many government, either government owned or government funded. So, and the government says sit, they sit. If they say stand, they stand. So that's how the media works here. It's very unfortunate, and you will never see a Canadian media house, saying anything against the government. Maybe in a subtle way, maybe kind of in a joking way, but nothing again. They never come hard on them. I mean, you saw the recent protest in Ottawa. Which media supported those protesters? Every media supported the government, right? So that's how it is. So
Otherwise, they will get
this
the
is what,
funding cut.
yeah, this is what has happening here, and it's unfortunate that this is happening, and eventually the Huawei CEO got released, and those guys got released. That's how it is. So there's not a whole lot that Canadian government can do about it, but they can investigate. They can bring this into the open, and make it a big deal. And that's a good thing,
But
that what Chinese, I mean, sorry, the
poor
RCMP is doing
Justin
against the
Trudeau,
Chinese authorities.
if he does that in the next meeting when he meets Xi, you know, he will give him couple of his peace of mind to him like we did in G20 summit.
We recently did a show
Right,
on Bharat Marg on G20, right?
right.
So maybe the viewers should watch that as well.
Absolutely. So if poor Trudeau, if he does any investigation, then he may have to hear earful again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was slapped by the Chinese president, right? So, and same thing, he'll be slapped again. So, yeah, this is happening in China, in Canada. Now let's move to other countries. So you just put up a picture that's showing the police station in overseas Chinese police station in Dublin, Ireland, right?
Right.
And then this is happening there, and same thing in England. England has a huge Chinese population. In London, they have a huge Chinatown, and it's happening there. And same thing in the United States, same thing in Spain, actually, and same thing in many European countries. Actually, an organization, a human rights group called Safeguard Defenders. It's a Spanish based human rights group,
Mhm.
reported that there are more than 50 such police stations that exist in the world. And this report came from the Spanish people, and CBC actually published this a little while ago. So it's very unfortunate that these are coming out into the open now, and they've already contacted the Chinese authorities and asked them like what's going on and stuff like that. Because here, when you talk about deporting China's or Chinese, not deporting actually, I should say, illegally taking the Chinese,
Kidnapping.
yeah, illegal kidnapping and illegally taking them, the people of Chinese origin who are actually either Canadian citizens or Ireland citizens or Spanish citizens or American citizens, back to China because of their wealth, their assets, and stuff like that. What the hell do these people have in their mind? What's their objective? Right? You kind of start thinking about it, and this is really, it's an outrageous intrusion of on Canadian sovereignty. In fact, the Conservative MP Michael Chong, he made a big fuss in the Parliament just recently about this in Canadian Parliament, saying that this is unacceptable. And he's of Chinese origin, but he's a Canadian citizen. He's a member of Parliament in Canada actually,
He
and
better update before going to China.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, like I don't know if he'll ever be able to step into China, because if he makes those kind of statements, guess what's going to happen there, right? As soon
Right.
as he arrives in China, lands in Beijing or wherever, he'll be arrested right away. So, or kidnapped.
Or he may be involuntary guest.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Let me talk about. I'm just going to digress for a quick second. Alibaba, right? Alibaba
Mhm.
is like Amazon. Okay. The president, the CEO, the founder of Alibaba, Jack Ma. This is, I'm talking about maybe 5 6 years ago. He was at the peak of his career. Alibaba was doing so well. They're a billion dollar company, right? I mean, they are doing really well. One day, just out of the blue, Jack Ma disappeared into thin air. And then when people asked, like, where is Jack Ma, like, what happened to him, nobody knew. Guess what, apparently, these are the rumors. Jack Ma was arrested or kidnapped by the Chinese authorities, and a lot of his assets got taken. They took possession, the Chinese authority, because it's a communist country, right? In communist countries, what happened is, everything that is within China, everything that people own belongs to the government. That is the policy of the communist countries.
Right.
So nothing belongs to the people. Everything belongs to the government. So they said, under those rights, we are taking away your assets. And after several months, I don't even know how many months, Jack Ma was released. And today, what you see of Jack Ma to what he was before is a huge difference. It's a very sad story. So this is what the Chinese authorities do.
And the rumor is he is in Japan.
He probably just left China and went to Japan or whatever.
Yeah, he was spotted in Japan recently.
Right. So this is the thing. And the other reason for these police stations, I mean, like, this is where I'm going to shift the topic from the kidnappings and taking away the assets of these people. They're also spying on the countries. Okay, wherever they see a threat to their own, Chinese, whatever, sovereignty or whatever you want to call it, they
Mhm.
actually start spying in those countries because they need a lot of active spies. And these people who are working in these police stations are fully trained. They come with a lot of training, and they have settled down in China, in Canada or Ireland or Spain or US or wherever, and Australia, of course. And these guys are kind of part of the Chinese spy ring, and they are spying for the government, for their government. And they are trying to get into some of the key departments inside inside these governments, and
Mhm.
passing on vital information back to China. This is another big thing that's happening with these police stations.
And just to take it away from Canada a little bit on the whole thing question, today Rajnath Singh, the Home Minister of what do you call the Defense Minister of India, has said China is the biggest threat for India. Okay, having said that, do you think there will be police stations in India too, like this? Especially Bengal being, you see a lot of Akka Chinese there.
I'll tell you something. I don't know if you watched.
And of course, it's a communist nation too.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched a debate yesterday with Arnab Goswami on Republic.
Mhm.
So he was talking about the funding from the Congress that Congress was receiving from China. Okay,
Right.
Congress as a party was receiving a lot of donations from China, and what does that tell you? When Congress was in power, they had a very good the party. Not I'm not talking about the Indian government. I'm talking about the party had a good relationship with China.
But when it is a ruling party, then it becomes a government, right?
Yeah, 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 you can say that, and that is the reason why we lost that this the piece of land in the 60s to China, because this relationship between the Chinese government or the Chinese authorities and Congress party is not new. It's been going on for decades now,
And and
and that is one of the reasons why Congress has turned their blind eye to that.
absolutely, and never forget, Vinay Ji, never forget some of the movie stars, big cons, whose flop movie in India has done thousands of crores in China, where the people nobody can understand Hindi.
Yeah, yeah, they've done really well. I mean, Amir Khan's what is that movie?
Dangal
Dangal did really well.
and other failure movies too.
Yeah,
Dangal at least ran a little bit.
Dangal did well in India as well, and Dangal was a big hit. But yeah, you're right. I mean, like I'm not sure about the nexus or the connection there, but I'm mainly focused on the Congress Party, and the Congress Party has got a huge thing. And then when Rajnath Singh talked about this, yeah, I think a couple of days ago in Lok Sabha in India, that the Chinese soldiers came to with weapons, actually, with
Mhm.
sticks and swords and whatever, to attack the Indian soldiers and to intimidate mainly the Indian soldiers. The Indian soldiers stood their ground and pushed back, and those guys eventually just turned around and went back. This
Ran
was in
back.
the LAC.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, and then what did the Congress do in the parliament? They said, "Oh, you're not giving us too much details. This is a shame. This is blah blah blah." This is a huge, fantastic, great moment for our country, for India. I mean, and Indians should be proud of this, no matter which party they belong to. They should be proud of the Indian soldiers. But guess what? The Congress has demeaned our soldiers, put them down, and it's a disgrace for this party.
Absolutely. And I want to say the viewers, one thing you will find common is Congress and Bollywood are like brothers. You know, both are culprits. Both, because it's unbelievable. Some of the flop movies of Amir Khan in India has done thousands of crores in China, and you will not see one print material or one material back then which said there was too much crowd on the theater. So it was like secret superstar kind of thing, the movies, 1,000 crores, but nobody know where it ran. So it was used as a funnel to siphon in the money into India to for all these things probably.
Oh, who knows? And coming back to your original question about are there such police stations? Do they exist in India? I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure they do, especially in states where It's a non-BJP government. I mean, West Bengal is very close to China. Then now Himachal Pradesh, which was up until now BJP under BJP rule, now is under Congress rule. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And then there are other
Kerala.
northeastern border states, and then they may all, who knows, they may have also infiltrated into Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is again a non-BJP government. Hyderabad, which is Telangana or Andhra Pradesh, non-BJP governments. Who knows where they've spread? I'm not sure. When these guys
For
are,
sure, for sure in Bengal, because few
I'm sure.
reasons.
I'm sure
Bengal
that
has
they
a lot of
probably
Chinese
exist.
population.
I'm sure they exist because a lot of those people have some Chinese connection, but they're not Chinese actually. They're Indians actually. They're all Indians. Whoever, they're not immigrants. These people, because it's a border state, the mixture of culture happened actually, and there was a portion of India that has that kind of race, and this portion of China that has an Indian race as well.
And one thing is sure that before Communist Party, India had a very good cultural relationship with China for
Yes.
centuries.
Yeah.
So that we cannot overlook, you know. But anyway, thank you very much for shedding the light here, Vinay Ji. Appreciate it. And any last word, Vinay Ji, before we?
No, I think the government in India has to act right now. Otherwise, this is going to get out of hands. And what they did just a couple of days ago at the border, at the LAC, was fantastic. I hats off to the soldiers, and I hope the government will support them and give them that autonomy to continue doing it.
Absolutely. And one last question to you: do you think Canadian government has what it takes to kind of clean up the mess, or they will think, okay, it is okay?
I think the Trudeau government is always on the fence because they are more concerned about their own the party and their power and their the vote bank and stuff like that. I think the government, once the government changes, then I think we'll have a better, hopefully a better and more positive situation here.
Absolutely, Vinay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Okay.
You're welcome.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Appreciate it.